Hey, and welcome to the Just Move podcast, where action meets ambition. I'm your host, Cody Robinson, a serial entrepreneur that's focused on various lifestyle brands and for somehow, over the last decade, have found a way to overlap everything from your health to your home. This is a podcast that I've wanted to do for many months now, to the point where I've actually started recording and interviewing some of the top people that inspire me on a daily basis. But this is our launch episode. This is me telling you my inspiration behind it, the reason I want to do it, and honestly, the reason it's called Just Move is because many of us want to start new ideas, new ventures, and for some reason we tend to stall out and we overthink it. We try to make things perfect, and honestly, even this episode today is something that was a bit of a struggle, but I wanted to just move and take the step and demonstrate that whatever you're wanting to do can actually be done if you just take action. So my background, over the last decade, like I said, I've had the opportunity of starting a few different businesses. My first business is called Home Fit. So I started it in 2013. So this is a concierge in-home and on-site and even virtual fitness company. We do specialize in people who are extremely busy, a lot of families, people that just really want to take care of themselves, but don't know how to find the time or have the even motivation to do so. So we've been doing that for many years. We have trainers throughout the Southeast, especially in Alabama, Tennessee, and then even have franchises as far west as Austin, Texas. So very excited to see the growth in that. So that was my first learning curve, and I would say crash course, but over a decade, it's been a lot as far as learning the do's and don'ts of business and navigating people and all those things. But anyway, neither here nor there. After that, I actually had the opportunity of starting a Spring Brew Coffee Company with my family. That's been going on since 2017. And it's getting close, I think, for my parents who are wanting to retire. So we're getting to the point where we want to hopefully sell that venture. So that'll be a new one for me, actually selling a business. I tend to just create them. So yeah, you'll hear more about that in the upcoming episodes for sure. And then honestly, right before COVID, I started getting into the world of residential real estate. To me, it made sense. Many of our fitness clients were already homeowners. They already had certain lifestyles that I tended to gravitate toward. And so I thought it made sense to get into it. And to this day, actually operate and sell real estate in Tennessee, Alabama, and even extending as far down to the coast on 30A with my partners down there. So very excited about all that. Anyway, so again, a lot of lessons I've learned over the years, but versus this being a solo podcast moving forward, I will be bringing on some very inspirational people. A lot of people that I'm already close to, that I have friendships with, that I've worked with for many years. Some that I'll be bringing in that I've been acquainted with, but I want to highlight them for sure. And so you'll see a lot coming up over the next several weeks. Or if this is a few years down the road and you're watching this for the first time, hopefully we have a pretty big database of people that you can listen to and get inspired by. So again, kind of going back to the point of just move and taking action. So, for years, even right before COVID, I started writing a book, but I decided to wait until this past year. So I actually wrote and published a book called Move or Lose, Finding Confidence in Starting Ventures and Achieving Your Dreams. So again, really kind of highlights things that I've learned, hard lessons that I've learned to be able to take action, who to surround yourself with to be able to overcome those types of barriers and go from there. But you can find that on Amazon. So enough about me. Back to the whole reason behind this podcast. So again, I fully intend to share some powerful stories and people that have inspired me and continue to inspire me. It's already been pretty emotional to be able to go through some of these interviews and for people to be raw and transparent about what they've gone through, what they've learned, best practices, worst practices, to be able to navigate away from that. And then hopefully even provide you with insight, opportunity, and even resources to be able to, whether you're an existing entrepreneur trying to grow your business or if you're somebody wanting to take the first step. Again, our intention with this podcast is to instill action for you to move forward. So again, to share my passion of highlighting other people, I feel like networking is one of my favorite things to do, not in a manner of for me to get personal exposure, but for me to highlight other people and to introduce others to those that are deserving and oftentimes have their heads down and they're in the grind and forget to expose themselves to the world, to really what's going on and the good that they're actually giving back to people around them. So yeah, big part of it. And also really trying to highlight continuous action of moving forward, whether you're starting out or whether you're trying to overcome something specific. Again, I intend to grow this database of interviews with intentionality to highlight things that hopefully you can even go through and pick and choose various podcast episodes to be able to overcome whatever you're struggling at that time. Or if you just hit that point where you hit a wall and you just need motivation, I want this to be a place where you can go and do this. Now, obviously, we're not as big as some of the well-known podcasts that are out there, and who knows, it may get there over time. But at least within our local circle, we definitely intend to highlight a lot of people throughout the U.S. and even beyond from there. So what can you expect when it comes to tuning into an actual episode for us? I want these conversations to be real, and I want them to be inspiring. So there will be moments where we may actually take some chase some rabbits per se, to get back to a point, to hopefully give you some insight to overcome whatever hurdles that we have gone through in our careers or our lives. You'll hear various life pivots, things that, life is nowhere near, and nor is entrepreneurship a linear approach. So you never know what's going to be thrown your way. So hopefully you'll be able to take away some things that will inspire you to navigate whatever happens to derail you, and how you can make tiny little pivots to get back on track. There's a lot that I can go specifically on that. And then also, again, key takeaways. What are these interviewees, what are these professionals actually, what have they done? What are their mantras? What are some daily tasks that they've done to be able to really get through the minutia to be able to keep growing their businesses and expand, their visions? What are they reading? What are they listening to? Just all these different things. And then obviously key takeaways that they feel have been motivational to them in their lives and their journeys. And then, hopefully extend that to you as well. So that's going to be the overall structure. What kind of guests do we expect? It will be a range. I do want people that are striving, that aren't just settling, into their careers or starting out. These are going to be people who are moving forward or trying to move the needle constantly in various ways. So I don't want you to get, I don't want people on here that's going to just be complacent. I want people that you can be inspired by and excited by specifically. And it will range from entrepreneurs, other professionals in their specific careers. You'll see we'll bring on some athletes, other creatives, so artists, musicians. The list continues to grow as I talk to more people and I sit down to format who we really want to interview moving forward. So I'm very excited about that list, and really the fact that I'm blessed and have the opportunity to know these people. So I'm excited about those. I want them to tell their real stories, their successes, their failures, and the resilience to be able to overcome those things. And bottom line, I want it to be authentic. I don't want it to be one of those podcasts where it's like overly staged. Again, it took me 3 or 4 times even to press record today to get this going. And then finally I was like, this is not going to be perfect regardless of how I go. So why should I expect it to be? So anyway, I strongly encourage you to tune in. I'm going to put this up on YouTube, but obviously it's going to be on iTunes, Spotify platforms as well that you may tune into. So I'd love for you to pay attention, but not for me. I don't want you to join this thing and listen to this just necessarily for me. I want you to be able to listen to these people who have poured their heart and soul into their dreams and their ventures and their businesses and their craft. And I really want you to be able to kind of come in and be able to just sit down and take a while to connect with us and hopefully find something that inspires you. And if you're somebody that wants to be on this, I would love to have you. Definitely feel free to reach out to me directly. We all can learn from each other. So that's what I want this to be, is a place that you can come and we can all grow together. And we'd love your feedback. So if you do end up subscribing, definitely, leave us a review, give us some feedback on what you've gotten from a specific episode. If there's any type of topic that you do want us to cover or any type of industry, let me know. I definitely can do it. So bottom line, this is our launch episode. So I'm definitely excited. In the next coming weeks, you'll start to see more rollouts from the ones I've already had a chance to interview. Honestly, the next one will be Abigail Davis. So she is a leading luxury real estate agent down on 38 on the coast of Florida. So you're going to be inspired by her. She teaches me something every time that I jump on a phone call or a Zoom call with her. In this episode with her was definitely inspirational to me. And honestly, she was the biggest reason for me to get this thing going and to take that first step and to get this momentum built as we launch this into 2025. And if you're listening to it, hopefully years later, we appreciate it. And this has been a success. So again, this is the Just Move podcast where action meets ambition. I'm your host, Cody Robinson. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.